Hello, I'm ETarte, once a Catholic priest for 5 years in the 1960s, now an atheist, which means I find no credible evidence for the existence of any God. Today is July 1st, 2013. This very day, my local dialoguer of the past couple of years, Catholic priest Father TJ, has been transferred from this area northeast of Houston to a parish about 40 miles away in far southwest Houston. Many of you have joined with me in the conversation with TJ. He has asked us atheists why we are angry at God. He has challenged us to prove that God doesn't exist, not understanding that it is he who has the burden of proof. He thinks the Grand Canyon is evidence that his God does exist. He has admitted that his God created hell, but he doesn't think there's anybody actually in hell. However, he told me that he thinks there's a distinct possibility that I will go there and find that I am the only person there. TJ told us that he is an expert at praying, so I got him to pray for 2 dogs that had cancer. Both dogs died. Confronted with a situation in the UK where a priest told a lady she must not have a tubal ligation, TJ at first took a humane and reasonable position, disagreeing with the priest, but then reversed himself when he realized that he was going against his church's teaching. TJ does not like for us atheists to treat his cherished beliefs with disrespect, such as his alleged ability to change bread into the body of his Jesus. Time after time, when we confronted TJ with challenges to his belief system, he either did not respond, or responded evasively, or gave some feeble excuse. He would disagree with my assessment, but my assessment is that in every aspect of our discussions, TJ came out on the short end. Last Sunday, TJ gave his last sermon at the parish in this area. I listened to all of it on YouTube. It was about 9 minutes long. Those 9 minutes were not a pleasant experience for me. In part of his sermon, he read from his bishop's letter to the Catholics of this diocese about marriage, a response to the U.S. Supreme Court's decisions against the Defense of Marriage Act and against California's Proposition 8. Here is a short excerpt with not very good sound.
The Supreme Court has dealt a profound injustice to the American people by striking down in part the Federal Defense of Marriage Act. Court got it wrong. The federal government ought to respect the truth. Marriage is the union of one man and one woman, even where states fail to do so. The preservation of liberty and justice requires that all laws, federal and state, respect the truth, including the truth about marriage. The common good of all, especially our children, depends upon a society that strives to uphold the truth of marriage. Now is the time to redouble our efforts to witness to this truth. These decisions are part of a public debate of great consequence. The future of marriage and the well-being of our society hang in the balance.
TJ has said, and I believe him, that his conversations with me and with many of you have strengthened his faith and have helped him to have an even greater love for what he does as a Catholic priest. TJ is now moving on to a higher position in the Catholic Church. He was, for about 3 or 4 years, an assistant pastor. He now moves to a larger parish where the pastor has been granted a leave of absence due to illness, and the assistant pastor has been named pastor of a parish in a town south of Houston. TJ will become the parish's acting pastor. I have no doubt that he will be extremely busy, probably too busy to have anything to do with us. This transfer is very strong evidence that TJ's bishop thinks very highly of him. My guess is that in the foreseeable future, TJ will become a full pastor of a church. One day, many years from now, he will be granted the title Monsignor. And I can even imagine that he may one day be made a bishop. Meanwhile, he will continue to preach and teach bigotry, delusion, and bullshit. And meanwhile, large numbers of his married parishioners will use birth control, recognizing that their church's prohibition of it is bullshit. But they will still support him and his corrupt, evil church. The most recent weekly church bulletin of his new parish lists a weekly cash intake of $47,000. But the church is $1.5 million in debt, and TJ will have to address that issue. Gay marriage and gay rights will continue to gain ground. We atheists will continue to increase in numbers dramatically. Many Catholics, especially young Catholics, will desert their church. Priests will become increasingly scarce. More and more Catholic dioceses will go bankrupt. During this evolutionary process, I will die, but my videos will still live. Let us carry on. To all of you, thank you for watching this video.